Welcome to this episode of Fire Engineering Training Minutes. My name is Jimm Walsh.
And I'm Erich Wheaton.
And today we're going to talk about the importance of isolating with a door. We're going to talk about door control. Before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the construction of a door. What we have here is a hollow core interior door. What this is this is a flat panel door. You can see we've taken the veneer off the door. We've cut the veneer away to show the inside of the door. Like I said, it's actually a hollow core door. What this actually here, this is cardboard. And what this actually does is creates an air gap. And that air gap gives us the insulation, and that's what protects and holds back fire. The new scientific studies are proving that closing a door, anytime that bedroom door is closed, the tenability thresholds are never exceeded inside that bedroom, meaning the oxygen levels never go below what is sustainable for life. The heat levels never get above, and the carbon monoxide levels never get too high. So simply by closing that door, and just a simple residential hollow core door like we have shown here. We have another door over here that's very similar. It's another residential hollow core door, but this is one of the fancier ones. It's called a 6-panel door. Again, we've removed the veneer, and you can see that it still creates an air gap, but what they actually do is for rigidity, they actually put a piece of wood down the middle, and then they build it up with cardboard. The really interesting thing about these doors is they're very lightweight, they're very cheap, and it's actually cardboard that's in there. All that's doing is creating that air gap. That air gap is creating the insulation, and that's what's giving us the isolation we need for fire.
All right, so now we're going to get into ways to overcome an open door frame that has no door. So basically a scenario where that is kitchens, dining rooms. Sometimes they'll have rooms closed off with an open door frame, but no actual door there. So kitchen, very common area to have a fire. If you come in to do a search and you have a fire in the kitchen and you want to basically isolate that kitchen fire from extending the rest of the house, you reach in there, you realize there's no door, but you remember it in your search, hey, 5-10 feet past in my search, there was an interior door. We can quickly go, force it off its hinges, which we'll demonstrate a few ways to do that here, and then bring the door and cover this opening, thus isolating that room from fire. So the first technique we'll use is an axe. Axe is nothing more than a wedge, so we can place it in this top hinge here. And we'll reach into this door, slam this door shut. We'll start to go ahead and fatigue these screws. I'll step in here if it doesn't fully pop, and I'll use the leverage of the tool. That top hinge is gone. I can now come to this middle hinge, pop the middle hinge. Flip the axe over, come to this bottom, and at the same time prying down, I'm going to pull down on the door and use the door as leverage. And now we've popped the door. We're able to move it to another doorway to block any fire from extending the rest of the home. All right, the next tool we're going to use to force the door off the hinges is a Halligan. Very common tool to use a search with. So this is probably going to be your go-to method of removing the door off the hinges. So like the axe, I'll start with this top hinge. I'll place the adze in, and I'll just pry down. All right, at that time, I'll let the tool just hang. I'll go for a door close, and you can see it was able to pull the screws out of the door here. Same thing on the middle hinge. Pry that adze down. Close the door. Now we can just use the leverage of the door for the bottom hinge. I'm going to grab the top of the door, pull down. And now we've removed this door, taken it to an open doorway, a room with an open doorway to isolate that room. All right, the next tool we're going to discuss when removing a door off its hinges is a 6-foot New York roof hook. All right, so what we're going to do here is place the hook end on this top hinge and basically put the shaft or the pole of the hook all the way down so it hits the second and third hinge. Then we're going to reach in here and close this door. What's going to happen is that the pole is going to create a space and the hinge screws are going to pull out. Hopefully we're going to pop all three at once with this technique. So we're able to get that top hinge going. I'll just finish clearing it like such. Just like the other methods, we'll use the leverage of the door to pop that final hinge at the bottom. Again, we're removing the door to cover an opening of a fire room door with no door in place.
So next we're going to show you a couple different methods on how to move the door down the hallway. It's important that we have a plan before we start going down the hallway how we're going to move the door. The first scenario is just going to be carrying it under your arm, almost like a suitcase, grabbing the knob. The next option is actually placing the door flat on the ground and pushing it with your knee. Okay, the final option we're going to show today is the shielded push. This gives you the ability to actually use the door as a shield if conditions start deteriorating in the hallway. Okay, so just a minute ago we took a look at how to tear a door off the hinges and how to move a door. Well, that was if a door isn't present. Now we're going to do under live fire conditions. All we're simply going to do is close the door. And we're going to show you how much fire this hollow core door will actually hold back.
As the crew is searching, they locate the fire room over to their right. The firefighter goes directly to the fire room in an effort to close the door and isolate them from fire. While this is happening, the officer will continue the search of the non-fire room. Once the firefighter locates the room, he checks for the presence of a door. In this case, the firefighter locates an open door, but make sure to do a quick sweep into the fire room for victims before closing the door. The firefighter uses his hook to reach for and close the door. You can see the temperatures in the fire room are over 1100 degrees at the ceiling and over 600 degrees outside the fire room above the door jamb. You can see that the temperature clearly drops below 150 degrees when the door is closed. As soon as the door is closed, you'd feel an immediate relief in temperature in the non-fire room. In this burn room, there is a slight gap above the door which is allowing some hot gases to enter the non-fire room. This would not be as dramatic if an actual door jamb was being used. You can actually see the horizontal lines of cardboard that are used to create the air gap in the construction of this particular door. This is a great visualization of a hollow core residential bedroom door holding back a tremendous amount of fire.
In this video, we showed you how you could remove a door off the hinges easily if a door wasn't present. We showed you how you could move a door quickly down a hallway, and then we did some live fire scenarios, and we actually held back a tremendous amount of fire with this door. This door was the door that we used in the video. It's a hollow core bedroom door. It held back a tremendous amount of fire. So if the door is in place, obviously shut it. If the door is not in place, find the closest door and go ahead and put that door in place. Thanks so much for watching Fire Engineering Training Minutes. I'm Jimm Walsh. We've got Erich Wheaton and Scott Ketchum. Thanks again.